Here's an expanded version of Part 1 in approximately 950 words, maintaining a natural and engaging tone. The rain pelted against the small workshop window, creating a rhythmic soundtrack to Gina's evening routine. She wiped grease from her hands, carefully arranging her collection of specialized plumbing tools, each one a testament to years of experience in solving the most challenging pipe nightmares across Seoul's most difficult construction sites. Her phone buzzed. Weird. Most clients didn't call this late. The screen flickered with an unusual holographic projection, something that definitely wasn't part of her standard mobile network. Translucent blue symbols danced across her worn workshop table, gradually forming coherent text in perfect Korean. Emergency Galactic infrastructure repair request. Compensation unprecedented, Gina chuckled. Probably another marketing scam or some elaborate prank her engineering friends might cook up. She'd seen enough weird internet jokes to last a lifetime, but something felt different this time. The holographic message began displaying complex schematics, intricate pipe networks that looked nothing like anything she'd ever seen. These weren't standard building blueprints. These looked extraterrestrial, massive circular conduits interconnected in impossible geometric patterns, displaying stress points and compression zones that would make any earthbound engineer's head spin. Each diagram revealed layers of complexity that suggested whoever or whatever created these systems understood fluid dynamics on a level far beyond human comprehension. Her fingers traced the holographic blueprints. Something about these designs felt familiar, yet completely alien. Years of fixing complex industrial plumbing systems had given her an almost intuitive understanding of how liquids and gases moved through confined spaces. Suddenly, the hologram shifted. A crystalline figure materialized, humanoid, but clearly not human. Its translucent body seemed to pulse with internal energy, communicating through a series of rapid color changes and geometric movements. Urgent assistance required, the figure communicated, though no sound emerged. The message appeared directly in her mind, bypassing traditional audio communication. The creature, or transmission, explained a critical situation. A massive space, station housing multiple galactic civilizations, was experiencing a catastrophic infrastructure failure. Waste management systems had completely collapsed, threatening millions of lives across different alien species. Multiple advanced engineering teams from various star systems had attempted repairs. All had failed spectacularly. They needed a human, specifically a human plumber. Gina's initial reaction was pure disbelief. Her, a plumber from a small workshop in suburban Seoul, selected for an interstellar emergency, the holographic transmission began showing visual evidence. Massive pipe networks twisted through enormous metallic structures. Alien technicians in sleek protective suits looked defeated, their advanced diagnostic tools rendering useless against the complex blockage. What caught Gina's attention wasn't the advanced technology or the alien environments. It was the fundamental physics of the problem. She recognized patterns, stress points, compression zones, material fatigue that looked eerily similar to problems she'd solved in industrial chemical plants and massive municipal water systems. The transmission included a provocative challenge. If she accepted, instantaneous transportation was guaranteed, full protection, complete technical support, and a compensation package that could rebuild her entire workshop several times over. Outside her workshop, thunder cracked. Her old radio suddenly sparked to life, playing a classic Korean pop song, almost like the universe was sending a bizarre signal of encouragement. Gina looked around her modest workshop. Shelves lined with specialized tools, years of accumulated experience, countless solved impossible plumbing challenges, memories of her father teaching her the intricate art of problem-solving flashed through her mind. This wasn't just a job. This was an opportunity to prove that human skill transcended technological barriers. Her fingers hovered over the holographic interface. One touch would change everything. The crystalline figure waited, its internal energy pulsing with an almost desperate anticipation. Gina took a deep breath. Years of training, countless challenging jobs. Her entire professional life had been preparing her for something extraordinary. She touched the hologram. Instantly, the workshop disappeared. End of part 1. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? Here's an expanded version of part 2 in approximately 950 words, cold bright, disorienting. Gina's body reassembled molecule by molecule, the teleportation process feeling like every cell in her body had been simultaneously stretched and compressed. One moment, her cozy workshop surrounded her. The next, an enormous crystalline chamber stretched beyond imagination. Massive holographic displays flickered around her. Alien technicians in sleek silver suits moved with mechanical precision, their movements synchronized like a complex dance. Gravity felt different here, lighter, more fluid. A tall figure approached. Hyun, the lead engineer, looked nothing like the holographic transmission. His skin shimmered with a soft blue bioluminescence, intricate circuit-like patterns running beneath his translucent epidermis. Multiple eyes, arranged in a circular pattern, studied her with calculated intensity. Human plumber arrival confirmed, he communicated, not through speech but through a series of subtle color changes and mental projections. The space station was a marvel of engineering. Massive circular corridors stretched in impossible geometric patterns, each surface alive with pulsing energy conduits. Mechanical servants, part robot, part organic construct, moved silently, carrying diagnostic equipment that looked more like living organisms than machines. Gina's toolkit, a modest collection of wrenches, pressure gauges, and specialized pipes, looked almost comically primitive compared to the advanced technology surrounding her. Hyun projected a holographic representation of the station's infrastructure. What looked like a simple plumbing network to untrained eyes revealed a complex ecosystem of fluid management. Energy conduits, waste processing systems, and life support mechanisms intertwined in a dance of technological complexity. Our best teams have failed, Hyun explained, his mental communication carrying a hint of frustration. Computational analysis shows multiple critical failure points. Our most advanced diagnostic tools cannot penetrate the core blockage. Gina walked closer to the holographic display. Her fingers, calloused from years of practical work, traced the intricate network. Something felt familiar. The stress points, the compression zones, they reminded her of a massive chemical processing plant she'd repaired 3 years ago. A mechanical servant approached, offering her a protective suit. Unlike the sleek silver uniforms of the alien technicians, this suit seemed designed specifically for her human physiology. Lightweight, flexible, with built-in environmental adapters. "We will guide you to the primary infrastructure zone," Hyun communicated. "But understand, no external species has successfully navigated this system." The journey through the station's internal networks was like traveling through a living organism. Corridors pulsed with energy. Mechanical creatures, part organic, part machine, moved with purposeful efficiency. Some looked like sophisticated robots, others like biomechanical organisms that defied traditional classification. Gina's eyes caught glimpses of incredible technology: quantum communication nodes, gravitational stabilization chambers, energy, conversion systems that seemed to bend the very laws of physics. But beneath all this advanced technology, she recognized a fundamental truth: complex systems always have simple solutions. The primary infrastructure zone looked like a nightmare of twisted pipes and energy conduits. Massive cylindrical chambers stretched hundreds of meters in each direction. Warning signals flashed in multiple alien languages, creating a symphony of technological distress. Hyun and his team watched carefully. Their advanced scanners tracked every movement, every breath Gina took. Human intervention was their last desperate hope. She knelt down, pulled out a simple pressure gauge, checked the initial readings. Something wasn't right. The system's fundamental design contained an inherent flaw, a problem so basic that it had escaped the most advanced computational analyses. Gina allowed herself a small smile. Some problems didn't require quantum computing. They just needed practical understanding. "I think I know what's wrong," she said quietly, her voice breaking the station's technological silence. The alien technicians leaned forward, their multiple eyes focused with intense curiosity. This was more than a repair job. This was a moment of potential interspecies revelation. End of part 2. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? Here's an expanded version of part 3 in approximately 950 words. The silence was deafening. Hyun and his team watched with a mixture of skepticism and desperate hope as Gina pulled out her seemingly primitive toolkit. Her fingers moved with a surgeon's precision, selecting tools that looked almost laughably simple compared to the advanced scanning devices surrounding her. "First," she muttered, more to herself than to the alien observers, "we need to understand the system's true language." Most advanced civilizations approached problems with complex computational models. Gina approached problems like a detective, listening, feeling, understanding the subtle rhythms of mechanical systems. She placed a key, specialized pressure gauge against the main conduit. The device, which looked like a simple brass instrument, began to vibrate. Quantum sensors embedded in the station's walls flickered with unexpected readings. The mechanical servants around her paused. Their intricate programming seemed confused by her approach. Hyun's multiple eyes blinked in a complex pattern of confusion and intrigue. One of the alien technicians whispered a mental communication that translated roughly to, "How can such a primitive device reveal what our most advanced scanners cannot?" Gina's hands moved with muscle memory developed over years of solving impossible plumbing challenges. She wasn't just looking at pipes. She was reading their story. Every bend, every stress point, every microscopic fracture told a narrative of systemic failure. The station's infrastructure was like a living organism. Most engineers would try to force a solution. Gina was listening to its language. A small adjustment here, a calculated pressure release there. Her movements were deliberate, almost musical. Each touch seemed to communicate with the system in a way no computational analysis could achieve. Suddenly, a series of soft clicks echoed through the massive chamber. The mechanical servants tilted their heads simultaneously, a gesture of collective surprise. Something was changing. Hyun's mental communication became a storm of complex emotions. Confusion, hope, disbelief. The human was doing something impossible. The blockage wasn't a technical problem. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of fluid dynamics. The alien engineers had approached the issue with computational precision. Gina approached it with practical wisdom. Years of working in Seoul's most challenging industrial sites had taught her something profound. Complex systems often fail because of the simplest overlooked details. She pulled out a small container, something that looked like a modified lubricant from her workshop. The alien technicians tensed. Their advanced sensors couldn't comprehend the substance's potential. "Watch closely," Gina said quietly. The substance she introduced wasn't just a lubricant. It was a carefully developed compound she'd created for extreme industrial environments. Part chemical solution, part adaptive material. The pipes began to respond. Soft vibrations turned into harmonious frequencies. Warning signals gradually transformed from urgent red to calm blue. Mechanical servants began recalibrating their systems, their movements becoming more fluid and synchronized. Hyun's multiple eyes widened in collective disbelief. The blockage wasn't just clearing, it was being fundamentally restructured. Most advanced civilizations would have introduced complex nanotechnological solutions. Gina solved the problem with an approach that combined practical engineering, intuitive understanding, and a touch of creative problem-solving. Hours passed. Or was it minutes? Time felt different in this massive technological ecosystem. The station's infrastructure began to pulse with renewed energy. Life support systems stabilized. Waste management networks realigned themselves with mathematical precision. How? Hyun's mental communication carried a mixture of wonder and professional frustration. Our most advanced computational models couldn't solve this, Gina simply smiled. Sometimes, the solution isn't about having the most advanced technology. It's about understanding the system's fundamental language. The mechanical servants around her seemed to bow, a gesture of respect that transcended technological barriers. This was more than a repair job. This was a moment of interspecies communication, a demonstration that human practical intelligence could solve problems that defied computational analysis. The massive chamber hummed with renewed energy. Alien technicians looked at Gina with a mixture of respect and wonder. She had done the impossible. End of Part 3. Here's an expanded version of Part 4 in approximately 950 words. The aftermath of Gina's repair transformed the entire station. What was once a chaotic, failing system now hummed with an almost living energy. Alien technicians moved around her with a newfound respect, their bioluminescent skin displaying complex color patterns that suggested a mix of wonder and professional admiration. Hyun approached her, his multiple eyes creating a kaleidoscope of emotional responses. The communication was no longer just technical. It had become something deeply personal. "Your solution defies our understanding," he projected mentally, the thought carrying layers of complexity. The station's central command chamber began displaying comprehensive system analyses. Holographic displays showed the infrastructure's new performance metrics, each graph telling a story of complete transformation. Where previous diagnostic attempts showed critical failure points, now there was perfect harmony. Mechanical servants, previously rigid and programmed, seemed to move with a new sense of fluidity. Their movement suggested something close to excitement, if machines could experience such an emotion. Gina noticed subtle changes everywhere. The station's environmental systems adjusted with unprecedented precision. Energy conduits that previously struggled now flowed like liquid silk. Each mechanical component communicated with near-perfect synchronization. A massive viewing chamber opened, revealing the vast expanse of space. Distant star systems glimmered like scattered diamonds against the infinite darkness. Alien navigation systems, now fully operational, tracked multiple galactic routes with incredible accuracy. The breakthrough wasn't just about fixing pipes. It was about challenging fundamental assumptions of technological problem-solving. Alien researchers began analyzing her repair methodology. What seemed like a simple solution to Gina was revolutionary to their advanced civilization. Her approach combined practical engineering with an almost intuitive understanding of complex systems. "We've been analyzing systems," one senior researcher communicated, "but you've shown us we've been listening to the wrong language." Gina's toolkit, those simple wrenches and pressure gauges, now sat in a specially designed preservation chamber, a testament to a moment that would likely be recorded in galactic historical archives. The station's central artificial intelligence began running comprehensive simulations. Each model demonstrated how Gina's approach could be applied to countless other technological challenges across multiple star systems. Mechanical creatures that looked like a hybrid between robots and organic life forms gathered around her. Their sensors studied her movements, recording every subtle gesture. She had become more than a repair technician. She was now a bridge between human practical intelligence and advanced galactic technology. Hyun projected a comprehensive report. The implications of her repair went far beyond this single station. It suggested that human problem-solving approaches could revolutionize technological understanding across multiple civilizations. "Your species has been categorized as emerging," he communicated. "But today you've shown something remarkable." The station's environmental chambers began displaying historical records. Previous repair attempts by advanced civilizations scrolled past, each one a testament to complex, failed approaches. Gina's solution stood in stark contrast. Simple, elegant, profoundly effective. Mechanical servants started mimicking her repair techniques. They analyzed her movements, her approach, her intuitive understanding of system dynamics. What seemed like simple mechanical work to her was a complex language of problem-solving to them. Outside the viewing chamber, distant galaxies continued their eternal dance. But something had changed. A small repair on a single space station had potentially altered the technological understanding of multiple civilizations. Gina felt a mixture of professional pride and personal humility. This wasn't about proving superiority. This was about demonstrating that practical intelligence could transcend technological boundaries. The alien researchers continued their analysis. Each review revealed new layers of her ingenious approach. What they had seen as a simple repair, she understood as a complex communication with technological systems. Remarkable, another researcher projected. Absolutely remarkable. The station's central system seemed to pulse with a new energy, not just operational efficiency, but something closer to excitement, as if the entire technological ecosystem had been waiting for someone to truly understand its fundamental language. Gina's simple toolkit now represented something far more significant. It was a symbol of human adaptability, practical intelligence, and the power of understanding rather than just analyzing. The galaxy, it seemed, had just learned a valuable lesson from a plumber from a small workshop near Seoul. End of part 4. Would you like me to continue with the final part of the story? Here's an expanded version of part 5 in approximately 950 words. The Galactic Recognition Ceremony was unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. Massive holographic displays stretched across multiple star systems, broadcasting Gina's extraordinary achievement to countless civilizations. Representatives from over 217 different alien species gathered in the central chamber. Beings with crystalline bodies, gaseous life forms, and complex biomechanical entities sat side by side. Each looked fundamentally different, yet they shared one common emotion: respect for a simple human plumber who had changed their understanding of problem-solving. Hyun stepped forward, his bioluminescent skin creating a mesmerizing display of colors that translated to deep reverence. Today, his mental communication resonated through the chamber, we recognize not just an individual, but a demonstration of extraordinary potential. A massive holographic reconstruction played out her entire repair mission. Each moment was analyzed, celebrated, from her initial arrival to the precise moment she solved the impossible infrastructure challenge. Mechanical servants and advanced AI systems watched with collective fascination. The compensation package was beyond anything a human had ever received. Multiple star systems offered her unprecedented opportunities, research positions, technological exploration grants, diplomatic missions that could reshape interspecies understanding. But Gina's response surprised everyone. "I want to help," she said simply. "Not for reward, but to show what humans can do." Her request was revolutionary. Instead of personal gain, she proposed a comprehensive knowledge exchange program. Human practical engineers would work alongside alien technological teams, not as subordinates, but as equal problem solvers. The Galactic Council was stunned. Most emerging species would demand territorial expansion or technological trade. Gina proposed something far more radical: mutual understanding. Holographic displays began showing potential collaboration zones, industrial repair missions, infrastructure development programs, technological knowledge exchanges that could benefit multiple civilizations. Mechanical research units started developing comprehensive documentation about her repair methodology. What seemed like a simple plumbing solution was now being studied as a fundamental approach to cross-species technological communication. "Your species sees problems differently," one senior researcher communicated. "Where we see complex computational challenges, you see living systems waiting to be understood." The station itself seemed to celebrate. Environmental systems pulsed with a new energy. Mechanical servants moved with an almost celebratory rhythm. The entire technological ecosystem recognized something profound had changed. Diplomatic protocols were being rewritten. Entire departments of human practical intelligence were being established across multiple star systems. Gina had become more than an individual. She was now a symbol of human potential. The compensation offered was astronomical. Multiple planetary systems proposed technological research centers in her name. Advanced medical treatments. Complete restoration of her home planet's infrastructure. Unlimited research funding, but Gina's response remained consistent. "I just want to solve problems," she said, her simple statement echoing across galaxies. Her workshop back in Seoul would become a legendary location. Researchers would study every tool, every modification she had made. What seemed like simple mechanical equipment would now be analyzed as potential breakthrough technology. The Galactic recognition wasn't just an award. It was a fundamental shift in understanding emerging species. Humans were no longer seen as technological novices, but as potentially revolutionary problem solvers. Mechanical servants began creating comprehensive documentaries about her achievement. Her repair methodology would be taught in technological academies across multiple star systems. Children of various alien species would study her approach as a fundamental case study in practical problem solving. Hyun approached her one final time. "You have changed everything." His mental communication carried layers of profound respect. Gina simply smiled, a smile that said more than complex technological communication ever could. A smile that represented human resilience, creativity, and the simple power of understanding. The ceremony concluded. But something fundamental had changed in the universe. A human plumber had just reshaped galactic understanding. Not through complex technology, not through computational power, but through practical, intuitive problem solving. The galaxy would never be the same. End of part 5. Would you like me to create an epilogue or provide any additional context to the story? Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story?